And welcome to the first ever IWAR Network Tubecast All Star Spectacular. Now I have assembled a round table of stars from throughout the IWAR. I am your host, Juan Cena, your NWL and IWL Commissioner, and with me, as always, our Commissioner, Matt Riley. How you doing tonight, Matt?
Oh, I'm stupendous.
Stupendous. In addition, we have NWL Lieutenant Commissioner Jake Joyce. How you doing tonight, Jake?
Hey, how are you?
All right. We have longtime IWAR TubeCap contributor Michael Swanson Jr. How you doing tonight, Mike?
Doing pretty good. How's it going?
All right. Going good, going good. Also, we have our modern wrestling correspondent, Luke Martin.
What's up?
Be excited, Luke. It's going to be a good night. And making his official debut this evening, UNL Commissioner Scott Anderson from the famous Anderson Wrestling family. How you doing tonight, Scott?
Fantastic.
All right. So, guys, I assembled you all here today. We want to talk a lot about some IWAR, maybe get into some different topics throughout this show. But first, the IWAR. What is the IWAR? Matt, you founded the IWAR. And how do you think the IWAR has made the IWA better?
The IWAR is a collaboration of multiple leagues, all working together to kind of help each other boost a trash talk-centric or promo-driven style of play. Players there just kind of bring it, so it makes it better for us.
All right, fantastic. Jake, what are your thoughts?
I like what Matt just said.
Okay, he concurs. Luke, do you concur as well?
Yeah, I've really, I don't really remember the IWA before the IWAR, but Matt tells me that it wasn't as good. So
Let me just say, if I can continue, because I feel like a big douche for not giving a real answer right now. When I came back to play in 2008, I left very quickly afterwards because at the time it was super flutter-centric, if you will, or report-hitter-centric. Coming back now, I got lucky because I don't know what I'd do without the IWAR. It's really what keeps me invested. I probably would have more of a life if I wasn't playing IWA every Sunday at 5 in the afternoon, but I have it good with you guys, let me just say.
All right, man, dig it. Swanson, what are your thoughts?
I played the IWA like way back when, I think it was late 90s. And when I played then, there wasn't a lot of leadership, not really anyone to guide you in a sense, which the IWAR really has. They're able to take people that are just coming in, show them how to play the game, show them how to, trash talk if they want to do so, which is one of the things that really intrigues me in the game. That's my creative outlet, which is why I've kind of stuck with the IWAR. I've done one or two leagues outside of it recently, and the trash talk doesn't move me, so I've just kind of had to I've stayed with the IWAR just because we focus on storylines, angles, and it makes it far more intriguing gameplay.
I dig that. And Mr. Anderson, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, everything everybody else said matches up what I would say as well. Not only the style of play, but the people that are in it. I think we can circle around a little bit. It's just people that are in the IWAR really just outside of the game. They create good characters. They bring it all the time. But they're just good.
All right. Fantastic. Good answers all around. But for me, what the IWAR means to me, essentially, is we are all about inclusion, except if you suck. But we are all about inclusion. We're all about inclusion, and we want to get everyone, as much as we can, we get as much input as possible. We want everyone to be able to interconnect with each other, present great storylines, have great feuds, great angles across the board. And that's what the IWAR and the IWAR Network page has meant to the game, for the last 2 years or so. So we're able to contact each other. We're able to hash things out. We're able to bounce ideas off each other. We're able to help some of our newer players or rookies and get them up to speed as fast as possible. Because for me, when I joined the NWL 4 years ago, there's a lot of guys who were 2 cycles and done, 3 cycles and done, and they weren't sticking with it because maybe they didn't grasp the concept of the drops and how to pick strategies and holds, or they weren't really getting the TT portion of the game. And now that we've gave them more assets would be the NWL help desk email address, so they email their questions directly to us, or Jake really going out his way to talk to the rookies and get them on board faster, because the faster they get on board, the faster they have success, the more longevity they're going to have. So that's what the IWAR has brought to the table over the last 5 years. IWAR's been around, at least some sort of fashion. Before that was the Gold Rush, and before that it was nothing. All right, so Matt, now you run a lot of the top wrestlers throughout the IWAR. We have Ali Atari, we have Devon Snops, we have Adam Cash and Fatty the Butcher, we have Barry USA Stevens, so on and so forth. Now, where do you see your wrestlers going the next 6 or 7 cycles as we enter the 2018?
Oh, boy. I would say, to keep it brief, Cash and Fatty have expanded Blood Money to include the Molson Brothers, and as well as Luther Alexander, of course. So it's sort of taking that, hopefully charging up the title scene. I know Luther took the IC title in the BRL, so that dynamic, probably closing out the feuds with Jimmy North and moving into a new feud. Trying to pick somebody bigger to go in the next feud. Not that Jimmy North's not a big character, but like a tough target.
Sir Gunter should be in your crosshair.
No giving away. Senor Lucha, of course, is dealing with Black Demon Jr., and that's going to come to a head, of course. Lucha did murder his father in the ring by accident. Wink, wink. So that's going to come out with, of course, Black Demon's mother, Medianoche, getting involved. I'm looking forward to that playing out. We're having a lot of fun with it, so that's going to be a fun read. Then, of course, the Von Schnaps. Now that the feud with the Empire is wrapping up, because behind the scenes there's some likeliness that the Empire / regulators are going to go away for a while.
That's just a rumor. That's just a rumor.
Yeah, rumor. Not that I'm talking to them online right now. But anyways, they'll have to find something new to do. Let's see. Oh, Atari, of course, is trying to get his hands on his former partner, Luther Alexander, who, of course, wrapped up his valet, Lady Xanadu. And he's looking to get some redemption. And I'm kind of trying to track him on a slow progression, babyface turn / grow into it. Not like the whole, a lot of you see wrestling and somebody changes and it's like overnight, they're the most popular guy in the league. Well, no, not really, but let's work towards it. So that's kind of a growth thing with him. CWL had a lot of interesting things going on with CWL because Barry Stevens was kind of just floating around, and I don't know if anybody else here saw or read the TT where he basically came out. He had been suspended for taking a knee before the anthem, and he came out and just tore the league a new hole, and it was awesome to write. It was I really felt my creative energies flowing. So in turn, this cycle, I always have a feeling that when you write really good TT and the game hits the holds and you go okay, he took the league title, he took the Capital title at the pay-per-view, he's number one contender for the big title. So it's things are falling in place for him to have a lot of heat and move forward. So I'm looking forward to getting that going. And there's a lot of room for improvement in the CWL, talent-wise. Otherwise, I have Ava Von Schnapp in the BRL. I have Bad Company in the BRL with Scott, and we are feeding with Los Rudos, so that'll probably finish up end of the year, and who knows from there. But I would say that the IWAR draft in November, which is, holy shit, a month away. So we've got to get in the ball on that one, and that'll help shake the rosters up a bit. So if you're not familiar, the IWAR draft is the 3 commissioners from the CWL, BRL, and IWL get together, and everybody that declares himself eligible for the draft can get drafted into a new league for free. And it's a 6-cycle contest, and whoever has the most money, most stars, or most points earned wins prizes. So it was a blast to do last time. We do the draft live on the Facebook page. So if you haven't seen it, it's a really good hoot. So that's kind of my guys in a nutshell.
Fantastic. I dig that. So Jake, I know you have Winston Smith Jr., you have the Drunks. What are you guys doing in the next 6 or 7 cycles?
And the LaCroix boys.
They don't count.
They suck.
Come on, man. Best Chicago champion ever. I think there's going to be a power shift amongst the Midnight Society eventually. But my way of playing is so poor because I basically just go one step at a time. And I think I don't benefit from the fact that I just came from the NWL a few cycles ago. So I don't think that I've had time with the Drunks yet to really develop anything interpersonal at the BRL, so hopefully I can start making noise there very shortly.
I think it's good to preach patience, because I think that's a trap that a lot of people fall into when they graduate from the NWL. They think it's kind of the same, but it's a good possibility that you're going to walk into a vet league and get your ass handed to you right off the bat.
I'm fully expecting that to happen. So that's my goal right now with the Drunks, is to not suck in BRL.
But here's the thing too: is that it takes time for trash talk and characters to develop when you go into a new league.
Right.
You don't go into a new league with a lot of hype unless you're a quote unquote IWAR star. So it's like, it would be like if Luther went to a different league. Well, he's established and well known, so any league he goes into right off the bat, he's going to get attention. Same thing with like Senior Lucha and Atari and some of these other guys. But when you're establishing a new character from the NWL to a vet league, it could be difficult. Not difficult for me because I had Matt who automatically put me in the Foreign Legion, so I got over by association essentially. So I think you guys coming in as a group as the Midnight Society, I think will make you guys get over faster.
The IWL. But that was also an easy league to assimilate to because we knew all you guys already. Because that's primarily made up of like NWL folks that we had known previously. So that was a fun league to come into. I don't even know where that's going to be going anytime soon. Stay tuned.
I think you guys need that one signature feud. Would it be with the Chaotix or the Blanks?
Well, so that's the Neo Dragon, Mike Mason, Great David. They seem to be working together. We'll see where that goes. It's going to be exciting, I think.
On that.
Well, you got to read the TT. I mean, Juan. You got to read the TT, Juan.
Kayfabe. I just wait for Mike's action wire. I don't have to read it. So Luke, you're running Neo Dragon. You got Tiamat. That's basically, you running anyone else or?
No.
That's it.
That is it. Yeah.
That's all you really need, though, to be honest.
Yeah, that is all I need. Yeah, I like running Neo Dragon. I kind of brought in Tiamat just to kind of fill it out. I think I'm eventually going to run her up to the BRL. But I kind of wanted to play around with that for a while, and she kind of fills out the feud. She's there to help out when Neo Dragon gets beat up, which is often. So that's kind of that. I would say that doing the IWAR draft is fun because it definitely get put in a league, and you can kind of get a little bit of hype, like you guys were talking about. It's hard to establish yourself, but if you're like a draft pick, especially if you get drafted high, you can be like, yeah, I'm valuable, heel or face. You can kind of make it a point to remind people of that. And I think that's a good way to get heat or, get over, is to remind them that, like, you're worth the draft pick, basically. But I think, too, with Neo Dragon, it can be kind of hard because faces are few and far between.
Well, that's the biggest thing. We are face heavy throughout what I assume the entire IWA, maybe for the exception of the UNL, which seems to be face heavy from what I understand. It's hard to be a babyface. Again, a lot of us is coming off that Attitude Era stuff where everyone's a shades of gray, or they're aggressive faces, or they just don't know how to be faces. Because it's difficult, because when you write TT as a babyface, you have to react off of other people's TT, which can be difficult because you're not the one pushing the feud forward. Usually the heel's kind of calling the match, essentially. So that can be extremely difficult. And I think the biggest mistakes guys make when they write babyface TTs, that they do very violent, dark sneak attacks, and that shouldn't be in your character. Essentially, as a babyface, you would do like the Rock and Roll Express, taking Jim Cornette's head and putting it in a birthday cake. It should be, you should be embarrassing the heels, not destroying the heels, unless you're trying to get some sort of revenge. In addition, I think what a lot of babyface managers need to do is to write sneak attacks on yourself. There's no rule saying that you can't do that. Have so-and-so attack you and then like kind of shake your fist at them like, you're a jerk.
I do that all the time. As a matter of fact, a lot of my TT is Neo Dragon getting beaten by other people, or it's like you said, like a comedic type, lighthearted thing. I'm not telling people how to write characters, but it can definitely be hard. I would just say for Neo Dragon, we're kind of dealing with the TMS thing, which is good because, like I said, we've worked with him. So right now, Neo is kind of angling to do a little. Going to have a match with Fortune 500 Aaron McFleece, so we'll see how that goes. So we're trying to angle that into something, and we'll kind of build from there. But it's nothing it's probably won't last long or something. I don't know. I'm trying to look for somebody that can kind of get the best of him, because his character is kind of like a Deadpool, Chris Jericho type Like he can fight when he needs to fight, and he can kind of take shots when he needs to take them. But at the end of the day, he kind of just is an sarcastic asshole, but in a nice way. I just need to find somebody that can kind of call his bluff and kind of make him go a little bit more serious and take things a little more seriously. But it's hard to find. It's hard to find people to do that because it's kind of hard to do that if you're just running around beating him up, because it doesn't, like, those kind of things. Like, I think that's a big thing too, is like when you're doing a feud, it's all about the person that you're feuding with. Also, they, like, as a heel, like, you can run around and beat everyone all the time, but that kind of doesn't resonate because that's what everybody else is doing. But if you can get into somebody's head, get behind what they're doing, or like mess with, like, so, you know, like going to somebody's house or like messing with somebody's personal, making it something, you know, personal. I think that is something that a lot of people don't take it to. It doesn't always have to be violent. It can just be sinister or evil or just fuck with somebody in some way. And that's why you got to rise out of a face instead of just beating them up.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm tired of the lame ass. So-and-so just had a tough match. So-and-so comes out and hits him with a barbed wire baseball bat.
Oh, that's classic IWA though, man.
Luther Alexander only does one. Luther Alexander only does one sneak attack a year. Period. And that's what the risky business tour is all about. I get them all done in one shot, and then we're off and running. Because the way Luther works is that he's a supervillain, so he's going to try to get minions or someone else to take people out for him. Because why would he get his hands dirty at this point? He's evolved past So don't forget that it's going to be Neo Dragon and Luther Alexander in that Russian death match at the Brawl at the Big House. And don't forget to sell the piranhas, because there's piranhas in the pool, and the barbed wire and the broken glass is important.
Oh, we're not talking about the what is that? The brawl, the one with where you told me to sell the scorpions?
That's the Rumble in the Bronx. That's our main NWL pay-per-view of the year.
Question.
I'm just saying.
Why is there always a live animal to sell? I'm noticing a trend here.
Well, I think that's important because you got to sell the live scorpions. You got to sell the piranhas. And in some cases, you got to sell the bear.
Wasn't there electric eels in that?
There was electric eels, too.
That's that.
The dead bear, Terrible Ted, the dead bear now, because Luther killed him, might be coming back in that match as a zombie bear. It's a possibility. That's a real strong possibility. So we'll see how it goes. To me, I can see like the brawl kind of erupting out of the pool, and then we end up going, because it's on a college campus, like in the girls' sorority house, and there's panties flying all over the place. And,
God.
You know,
I am okay. I'm okay with that.
So that's
We'll make it a
possibility.
show. So it's who is running that again? Like, who's the manager of the?
Ryan Patrick is running that, so we have to get matches to him.
In my last TT, I focused on the Winston Smith, but I did talk about our upcoming match. And I also mentioned how Kennedy Cage asked me to come in and save the show, and that's why.
I dig that. So, Michael, you're running Mike Mason. You have like your tag team, right? Who are they again?
Over in the CWL, I've got the Syndicate. It's a tag team made up of Johnny the Wrench Morello and Vincent Torrio.
Yes.
They just recently transferred over from the NAL and the Diamond Federation, so we haven't really quite established them as characters yet.
Congratulations on coming to the big leagues, buddy.
I was doing it to help a friend out, so I mean, they were becoming big fish in a little pond, so we had to go over and hang with the big dogs. The idea behind these two guys right now is they are kind of like hired hitmen and constantly getting orders sent into them via cell phone from some unseen head honcho, the big boss. Just taking people out and moving up the ranks. I mean, that's kind of the goal right now, is just to get them moving up in the tandem division and trying to take things over, that kind of thing. That's the base foundation of the storyline. We might bring Max King into it. I've been talking with Andy about some of the stuff.
Okay.
So it's still in its infancy. So we're really just kind of working on a foundation and trying to move that angle forward, or find an angle for them. Right now, I think I do have a target. The Oddball Express just recently opened up. They just finished a feud, so they're kind of a really good like first target for these guys. So you got these kind of hard-nosed New York heels going up against this comedy act. of Pokey McSnail and Milton Schnauzbuster, which by the names alone, makes it fantastic. So that's what I'm doing in the CWL right now.
Okay.
Other than writing the odd match for Andy. Over in the IWL, I've got Mike Mason, and it's been a long, strange road with him. Started off as a heel. We're working on... Since moving to the IWL, I've tried to make him babyface, and it's been a really slow process. One thing you'll notice, he's never sneak attacked. He's been sneak attacked and sometimes won and sometimes, got the shit kicked out of him. But that's one thing I've always kept in mind, that I'm not sneak attacking. I think almost a little too much talking. I need more action. However, recently we had Winston Smith Jr. and the Boys LaCroix had a wonderful little attack on Mason, and that has to be answered. Oh, yeah, it's going down.
And you're currently in the Grand Prix series with Andrew Jeffrey Kaufman, correct?
Yes.
How's that
also
going?
In the Grand, up 1-0 right now. So, and the full intention is to hold on to that championship for as long as possible.
Forever.
Because it's mine. Yes.
Forever.
I'll be the only Grand Prix champion.
Forever.
And ever.
So again, guys, if you're looking to challenge for the Grand Prix Championship, all you gotta do is get in a feud with Mike Mason, because he gets to choose his challenger. Again, we're trying something new, trying something innovative with that championship. So hopefully it works out the way we need it to work out. So if you want a shot at that belt, just all you gotta do is trash talk to Mike Mason and get his attention. So there you go.
Or just have strong trash talk in general. I mean, that's something, since I didn't have... Mike Mason's always had problems with getting into feuds.
They're scared of him,
until very
that's
recently. I'm not scared of them. What are you talking about?
He's scared, they're just scared.
Everyone's scared of...
Yeah, he's gonna hold it.
They're afraid I'm going to kill their horse.
forever.
That's what it is.
Well, yeah.
There's something I've looked for in choosing opponents, because it's a really weird thing for the champion to choose who they're fighting. I mean, I could choose people who don't do so well and try to keep the title forever that way, but that just is dumb. I look for people who, one, perform well and also have good trash talk. So, I mean, Kaufman has been having, since he came in, he's had fantastic trash talk. He's been calling me out the entire time, and I was always busy with other things, trying to move other things along. So that's why I chose him this particular time. And I do have a couple of people lined up in case I do win. So.
All right, Seth. So I know you're running the Chaotix and the Monroes, and then you have a couple other guys as well. So what are your outlook for the next 6 cycles or so?
Well, over in the BRL, since Matt decided to bump up with a women's league, put Liberty Monroe over there and Erica Rockwell. They're kind of all about women's empowerment and the new modern women's wrestling and being taken seriously. So hopefully that goes somewhere. Rockwell just won the Double X title, which is pretty sweet. Going to a feud with Heather Hyatt. Hopefully good trash talk going in that time with that. Hyatt's going to be a bit of a Brock Lesnar type character, if I'm understanding correctly, right?
Correct.
Like total badass. So I hope that develops well. So then with the Chaotix and the Monroes, shout out to the Syndicate, who's going to team up with the Chaotix for that fantastic war game show that someone's putting together. Hopefully they do pretty well. Maybe we'll winning purse. Chaotix are kind of, I feel like, after coming out of the Empire of Chaos feud, they're kind of in limbo. Got something going with Kendall and Noble House, see where that goes. I feel like Noble House, bit of a violent group, and Chaotix are kind of unruly, so I thought, don't have anything else going on right now except title shot. Xavier's got a title shot with JJ coming up, and I called him out and dissed him, and then he said he liked me, so I'm just going to diss him even harder this time. And see how that goes. And then Graham and Cage are going to fight each other. I've got that going on with them. There's a back burner there with Cage and Dragon that's kind of a slow burn. I'm big on the slow burn. I love things stretching out. I feel like with Winston Smith and Piper Monroe, there's slow build, so that's kind of where I see Piper going over the next 6 months.
Glad to hear that.
Yeah, stepping out and doing a singles feud with Winston, I think that would be really sweet. Mark,
you have the unique opportunity to headline our biggest pay-per-view of the year with both your wrestlers. And so I think that's a unique opportunity, and you do have a shot at taking all the championships except for the Grand Prix championship. So haters are going to hate, but I think you're going to be manager of the year.
Sorry, Ryan. So you're like, everybody put the matches for the pay-per-view. I'm like, dude, do I have to post title matches? Because I feel like people are going to hate me. Like, yeah, put them on there. Okay. So hopefully Ulysses manages to beat Great David there. But Monroe's came out and ran in. You were talking about what do you do with faces, right? Faces are hard to write. Poor Marcus. Dealing with the blanks still. I just love working with David. David running the blanks. So we had this, like, for those of you who weren't in the NWL at the time, David and I had this, like, 6-month build with the Monroes and the blank because he was crazy on fire. He crushed me pretty much every time we wrestled. And so basically, he gained control of the Monroe family gym. And so Marcus was supposed to leave the IWAR, and he didn't, partly because cheated. So Marcus was like, screw you, I'm not leaving. And so then we had this thing with Marcus and Piper not getting along. But then I thought it might be David, but I wasn't sure, and I was really hoping it was, and it ended up being him. Sending in notes. So now going back and revisiting that kind of that unresolved conflict. Yeah, hopefully Ulysses, the king of the IWL, if he managed a title, that would be pretty amazing. I think that's all I had.
It sounds fantastic. And now for me, what are my wrestlers? Now I run, for those of you who don't know, I run Luther Alexander, I run Che Guerrero, I run Heather Hyatt, and I run the Black Demon Jr. But essentially, Luther is the only wrestler I run. Heather Hyatt is actually the female counterpart to Luther, because apparently I can only write TT as Luther. I can't write anything else. I don't know why. See my Willowick Warrior promos from the TTL and get a good idea. That's why Che doesn't talk. Yeah, because I'm shitty. I don't know what to tell you guys. Whatever. But when it comes down for Luther is currently in a couple different feuds and angles. So he has his feud with Aleatari, which I think might be one of the matches for the Starrcade pay-per-view. We'll see how that goes. And Luther has his bag of tricks, and he has lots of surprises for Atari. In addition, he has the RX Civil War, so now he's feuding with half of the RX. They try to do a coup and try to take Luther out of the RX, but Luther is getting some reinforcements. Hopefully Tim Riggins III will join the RX. We have Chris Hero and Lord Drama as our two newest members. So he's really prepping to take the likes of Dr. Slam, Phantom Striker, who's already taken out, Robbie Blood, and even the Noble House, who also attacked Luther in the BRL. So his plate is pretty full. In addition, he has that feud with Money Mike Sebastian. He has another feud with a returning Scotty Flash. He's feuding with Neo Dragon. Hopefully that comes to a head at the brawl at the Big House in the Russian death match. I feel like I'm missing like 9 other feuds, but I'm pretty sure that's it in terms of Luther. So going forward for him, I think once he establishes his dominance and power over the Revolution Extreme, I think he needs a big stable feud, at least the first quarter of 2018. That's what we'll be looking for. So I'm really looking for another stable to feud with. Maybe some good solid baby faces or some heels that feel like turning. Because again, heels out there, if you're in the sound of my voice, if you're a heel and you feud with Luther, you're automatically a babyface. That's just the way it works. I apologize in advance, but he's going to make you a babyface. It's hard to out-heel him. He's the most hated wrestler in the hour for a reason, and not because I fixed the votes, because that's what a heel is. So we have Black Demon Jr. He has his feud with Senior Lucha, and that's going to have a lot of twists and turns and lots of surprises. And even though I'm telling you there's going to be surprises, you're going to be surprised at the surprise. And Heather Hyatt, who is calling out the likes of Valkyrie and Erica Rockwell and Liberty Monroe. And she is looking to dominate the women's division in the BRL. She is breaking necks and cashing checks. You know, her entire character is like, I'm the best fighter in the world, not best wrestler, not best female wrestler, best fighter in the world, period, bar none. Man, woman, child, or beast, she will take them all out. So for her, it's going to really kind of establish her character moving forward, getting into some long-term feuds with some of the other females in the BRL, and hopefully knocking them out. So that's the bottom line with that. And then I believe next cycle, Chagaro gets murdered by Robbie Blood. Spoiler alerts. I'm pretty sure that's what we're writing. And there'll be a new character introduced in the IWL, and it will be a very big surprise. Only Matt gets that joke. It's hilarious.
It's Ron Jeremy.
Ron Jeremy is the... here's the thing. The devil's always in the details. So anytime I do pictures or anything ridiculous, look for the Easter eggs. So have you ever noticed the Luther Alexander autobiography movie? So he's such a big star that he's a star in a movie about himself. If you look at the credits of who appears in that movie, Ron Jeremy is one of his co-stars in that movie, along with Hulk Hogan. Tiny Lester is Zeus, and Megan Fox. The music is by Van Halen and the RZA. So there you go. It's a Spike Lee joint, people.
And written by me.
Yeah, you wrote the movie, so it's all crap.
Yep. Exactly. Only the best for you, Juan.
Thank you. So I did want to take some time out to talk about the UNL, about the overall concept of the UNL, and what does it mean going forward, because I think it has the potential to be a top 5 league and something that could possibly make history in terms of the IWA. So Mr. Anderson, give us a quick rundown on what exactly the UNL is, what feds in it, what's the concept for some of the people that may not know that are on the IWAR page.
For those of you who may not be familiar yet, appreciate the plug, first of all. The UNL is in the Bronze Federation. It is a 2-wrestler limit league, and along with that, the idea is that your 2 characters is from either the United States or Canada, and the other character is from basically anywhere else. Is what I have called an international character. Despite what you may read otherwise, our first few cycles not have to the nationality of your character the primary aspect of your character. The idea is that we brought together all these stars from all around the world, best talent, bringing in guys like Nakamura and Sabre Jr. and the guys who were in the K tournament, and just all these various talents from all around the world are coming and converging. It's one place to battle it out for who is the best. Along with that, let me look at my handy-dandy rules so I don't miss anything. We're not allowing transfers, so you're going to create 2 new guys or gals. We are a gender equality league. And Spivey, Major Tail over there, can have a 2-for-$1 Battle Royal entry if you do the $12 match deal. Obviously, you only have 2 wrestlers, so the 2-for-1 deal gets both of them in for $1. Along with the rules, hopefully I've explained those to a decent degree. The prizes, I think, are part of what I hope will make the UNL a little different, a little special. The league champ gets at least 5 free matches every cycle. It increases to 10 if there are 15 active managers, so it's not depending on the number of matches, but the number of managers. Basically, we've been at 14 managers for 3 of our 4 cycles, which if you had told me when we first started that we'd have 14 managers 4 cycles in, I would have been thrilled. But now that we've had 14 managers with one exception of 15, I'm like, come on, let's just get over that hump and get 15 all the time. But anyway, and then it increases to a IWA credit if there are 30 managers. The other thing that I think makes the UNL hopefully a bit special is that I'm starting tournament every cycle. Every cycle we're going to have a new tournament start. Check out the UNL port or the UNL page. You'll see that we've got 3 or 4 already announced. I think the 4th one will be announced next cycle. If you enjoy a tournament style of play, you're basically going to be in a tournament every 2nd or 3rd cycle because no wrestler can be in consecutive tournaments. So basically, as long as you have a strat that's in the top 2/3 you're going to get in a tournament and have a chance to win 3 matches every other. So hopefully that encourages folks. I know I love tournaments. I like being in them. I never win. So
bullshit. You win in the IWA all the time.
Okay, so maybe that part is true. Yeah, called me out. So the idea, I guess, is that if you lose in a tournament, you're going to be in another one soon, unless you're Jacob Vandenberg, and then you're going to be in 3, and you're going to probably win all 3 of them. That's okay, too.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. So in addition to that, we've got some round robins going right now to decide who's going to challenge for our championships, our commissioner championships. So the UN title, obviously, is the big one. We decided at our second pay-per-view. We're going to build it up, hopefully make it important and monumental. And then our intercontinental U.S. level titles are going to be dependent upon international aspects of those characters. They'll be decided at our first league. That will be exciting. I feel like I talked forever. So
no, what fed's it in?
In the bronze fed.
Okay.
So the thing I like, if I can plug bronze, the reason I love bronze almost as much as I love gold is because bronze is a Tuesday league also. So,
yeah.
So you get the weekend. The Thursday leagues, you get your drop on Tuesday, and you better get your holds in fast because you got a 12-hour turnaround. Tuesday feds, get the whole weekend to work on your strats. So hopefully that's encouraging for people looking to start somewhere new, do something fresh, start a new character, revive an old character.
All right. Fantastic. So, Matt, what are your thoughts on the UNL? I know you were involved in the creation and the initial concept.
Oh, I think it's a great idea, and it's a good way to try something different. A lot of the players have expressed, interest in something different, a league that means more, so to speak, a smaller setting. Because I do think that the advantage of a league like this is that while there's fewer wrestlers, players still allow more of a focus on those wrestlers. So you really get I don't want to say the ECW feel or New Japan feel, but it feels more concentrated talent-wise. We're working with the players now, trying to get some more players in to break that limit, or not the limit, but like the next level up, if you will, with 15 players. And really, I think it's going a good direction. It's got a good start. It's just getting off the ground. I do know there'll be some changes coming roster-wise, so there'll be some things going in there, but I do think it's going to be a fun league to play in going forward.
So, Jake, what are your thoughts on the UNL?
I think I enjoy the dynamic that has now created Scott has created, where in order to compete for the commissioner's titles, you have to kind of buddy up. It really forces you to it's like when you're in class and the teacher makes you pick partners, and you can't pick a partner that you've been partners with before. So it's a really nice it's almost like a social club, it's a good way to get to know the people. So I've been really enjoying it. I've been doing pretty well too, so I can't be upset about that.
Speaking of lab partners, I once had a lab partner named Delicious, and her sister was named Destiny, and their cousin was named Cristal, and it was one of the strangest experiences of my life.
What was their last name? What was their last name?
Oh, Robertson.
Oh, so it doesn't really tie in.
No, I thought there would be something cool, but no.
A pun.
Wiener.
They're good people.
Delicious wiener.
They smell like cocoa butter, all of them.
Yes.
So, Michael, what are your thoughts on the UNL?
It's extremely unique. I don't think there's another league like it in the IWA right now, so it really makes it stand out. It also gives you a chance to really experiment with characters you may have wanted to do or you've never tried. For example, I run Masanobu, who is a sumo wrestler, and I've had this on the back burner for a long time, for almost a year now. It's like, I want to do this, and this gave me a perfect outlet. I was like, ooh, perfect, I can do this. And the commissioner's done a great job with setting up tournaments and trying to build up activity. It's been really cool so far. It's a really fun experience being there for the start of a new league.
Yeah, I was there for the beginning of the TTL, although it didn't last very long in terms of it being good, but I was there. So I think the UNL, much like the Lone Wolf League, and if you're not checked out the Lone Wolf League, do that as well. I think it brings it back to the purest form of competition that there is out there. Everyone's on the same level playing field. So there's not going to be one person that has one wrestler and another person that has 6 wrestlers, and you can't get a numbers advantage. So it makes you really have to kind of, pick and choose who you feud with and even who you tag with, because you know what, maybe your tag team, your other wrestler may not be, what if you have a heel, one's a babyface, or maybe you have to, win a tag team championship the old-fashioned way and kind of coordinate your strats with another player. So it gives it a real interesting dynamic, much like the Lone Wolf League. So I think that's really cool. I think it's going to be the next big thing in this game. I think that the league's going to get bigger and bigger. I definitely suggest and highly recommend anyone who's listening to this to check it out. So, Matt, any final thoughts?
No.
Okay.
I would say final thoughts would just be, if you're listening to this for the first time or you're a newer player, check out other leagues. And once you get an idea of what you're dealing with versus what other leagues offer, you'll get a better understanding of what makes a good league, what makes a league that goes, whatever. And you see the amount of work that people put into these reports that make the leagues better. And, of course, the better the leagues is because of the players. So, it's really a matter of exploring what's out there and enjoying it.
Jake, any final thoughts?
Yeah, if you are a new player, read the goddamn handbook, please. I'm begging you.
I concur with that.
Read every single page.
Yes.
If you have any questions about how to play, we are happy to help. But please read the handbook first.
So, here's the thing. I just want to be clear on this. If you have a question, write it down, and then check the handbook first. And if you can't find a satisfactory answer in the handbook, then please, by all means, reach out to us.
That's a much nicer way of saying it. Yes, thank you.
There's a lot of nuance in the game, and I think most of our questions should be about the nuances of the game instead of how to do this and how to do the nuts and bolts of the game. The nuts and bolts are all in the handbook, and they actually did a really great job of breaking that all down. Also, make sure you read the welcome packet. Matt did a crap ton of work on that packet, so make sure you don't waste all his hard work, and make sure you read that probably more than once. Would be highly suggested.
I agree. And the magazine, the IWAR magazine, has a lot of stuff too. So read every single nook and cranny of that.
There's lots of information out there, and we put a lot of work into putting together, all this stuff. So please, please, please read it. All right, Luke, any final thoughts?
No, I didn't have any final thoughts. I think
Do you have any thoughts?
Do I have any thoughts?
Yeah.
I was thinking about how upset I am that I can't use my creative character in WWE 2K18. And how much fucking bullshit that is.
Maybe they'll fix it on the next update.
I've been hearing that for fucking years. It's all a lie.
But let me ask you a question while we're on the topic. Does 2K18 look better than 2K17? Because 2K17, I don't know why everyone looks tired. Everyone has bags underneath their eyes. They look ridiculous.
Everyone, it's much better. They have like more facial expressions. Like even just creating the character, you can actually go in and choose the hand, like so you can like close fist, open handed kind of thing. You can choose the pose and choose the facial expression. Right. So you can actually choose what your character's load screen face thing is. Okay. So you can actually like change the way they look. Not like you can use it in fucking My Career, but you can do that and everything. So there's a lot more customization options, which is my biggest gripe is why have a create a wrestler feature if I then can't turn, like I can't. So if I really loved Kurt Hawkins and I really wanted Kurt Hawkins to be WWE champion, I could only do it in my universe mode, which is a shit show. So I can't actually take Kurt Hawkins and make him like take him through next and get him up to WWE champion. Yeah, I have to create a brand new, and then you have unlimited tools in the create a character, but you're tied down to like loot boxes. So like you have to basically progress to get your character to look a certain way in the My Career mode. So basically, I have no idea why they did that, but it really makes it annoying because you can't really you're starting with like a jobber, which doesn't make any sense because next it's higher jobbers, but whatever.
So I have two questions. So Matt, open fisted or closed fisted?
Oh, closed.
That's what I thought. And my other question was, so you're saying there's no like, Can you create a show and does it have the calendar thing again?
I didn't look at the count. I mean, I know you can create a show. You can create a show, create an entrance, you can create all that stuff. And that's actually gotten better. Like the creative suite is much better. So 2K17 was like so confining and looked shitty, and like the facial, like if you try to put your face in there, you look like awful.
Yeah.
And but now they really did a good job like fixing the creative suite. It's just they didn't do anything with like any of the game modes. So one of the big game modes like 2K16 had was like you could do Austin's career through the Attitude Era. That was really neat. It was fun to play those.
They did a couple of those. They did the WrestleMania one, and they did a Monday Night War one too, which was really good. And I forget I forget who they did for 15. Maybe it was a Cena one. I don't remember. And then
it's triple Shawn Michaels and
that's right.
I don't know. I don't know why it's like they can be really good, but they need to have a good solid game mode that people really enjoy playing, because they just don't have that right now. And with what they do with my career mode, that makes it really frustrating. So they need a storyline in there or something.
They should do the life and times of the AWA, because that's going to sell a lot. Awesome.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll go over with the 45 crowd.
Yeah. No, you get to play as Greg Gagne. That's awesome. You remember? Does anyone remember when Greg Gagne was Greg Rambo Gagne and he was dressed like Rambo?
No.
No one else watched the AWA? Jesus Christ!
I'm 30 years old.
I remember
Alex.
that you were
I'm 32.
I'm 35. We saw some reruns on freaking ESPN.
Look, man, it's a different time, all right?
Greg Gagne Brady.
Yeah, he teamed up with Kurt Hennig and Scott. It's weird. Okay, whatever. Michael, any final thoughts?
Oh, it's my turn. For any new players out there, don't get discouraged.
That's a good thing to
talking
say.
Well, Mike Mason has been in this for 2 years, and he's never won a league title, and I'm still plugging away. So, I mean, keep at it, and you never know what's going to happen. You can still have a lot of fun. Just keep going.
That league title's going to come, and when it comes, it's going to be super sweet.
This is true.
Yes. Scott Anderson, any final thoughts?
Yeah. So just to piggyback what Mike said, to keep at it, definitely. I think I had the 3 Monroes for 16 cycles in the NWL. I think I had about 4 stars among 3 wrestlers for 16 cycles. Thankfully, my year 2 has been a little bit better than that. So keep at it. I'm going to do a shameless plug for the other league that I commissioned, the LNL. It's also in bronze. It's a Living Nightmare League. It's a lot of fun. It's kind of for me at least, it's a bit tongue-in-cheek. I like to have fun with it. I don't take it too seriously. But if you want something that's kind of fun and outlandish, maybe look at that. I also feel like I want to plug Brad, who is the manager of Joe Boring, who I think we all admit that we are huge marks for.
That's true.
In the UNL, he's killing it with his TT every cycle. Vladimir's TT this cycle made me laugh out loud, which is a rare occurrence. So it was really funny. If you enjoy Joe Boring, you're probably going to enjoy his other characters. He's fantastic. As far as the other Tubecast, there are research. Click on the search. Look for the strategy Tubecast. I actually just rewatched one maybe a couple months ago. One of the strategies, the in-depth ones, I was trying to improve my tag team 6-man. So I went back and rewatched it. So I definitely highly recommend watching those formative Tubecasts that can be very beneficial.
Yeah. So there's actually, I think there's 2 different ones. There's your basic strategy Tubecast, and there's advanced strategy Tubecast.
Right.
And don't look at the advanced strategy Tubecast if you're not advanced.
Mm-hmm. Because that'll confuse the shit out of you.
Yeah, don't put the horse before the cart. Is that how they say it?
Yeah, that's close enough.
The cart before the horse. You really want to put the horse before the cart. Pretty essential.
Ridiculous. And for me, my final thoughts is that, so the amount of work that you put in, the amount of creativity you use, get your pictures, get your characters down. That's how you're going to have fun, because the IWA itself is basically it's vanilla. And if you want to put some some caramel, some chocolate syrup on it, and some sprinkles, well, that's going to be up to you. I respect the players who put in the work. I push the players that put over the work, that do the work. I spotlight the players who do the work. So if you do the work and you do interesting things and you trash talk every cycle and you do what you're supposed to, you will be spotlighted. You'll be giving opportunities. You'll move up the card essentially. If you don't, you're basically going to stay where you're at and essentially be ignored for the most part. Not to be kind of jerky about it, but that's the reality of the situation. With so many guys that we're trying to focus on, I can only spread the spotlight so thin, and with so many good players that if you're not going to set yourself apart, then you kind of going to be in the shadow. So put in the work, have fun, make sure we respect each other, especially on our Facebook page. Do not spam the page, please. I'm begging you, not spam the page. Super important. If you know what spamming a page is, please Google it and go to Urban Dictionary and see what that is. I know recently we had some discussion about TT on the page. Again, you can post TT, but it has to be in a file format, and it has to get into the bulletin. And you can't respond to it on via the Facebook page. Although you can respond to it via another TT in a file format, that's perfectly acceptable. So just keep that in mind moving forward. And we're going to do a lot more other projects like this. There'll be more streaming on the page. There will be perhaps a new Tubecast. We'll see how that goes. And sort of different projects on the Retro Wrestling Games YouTube page and the IWAR Network in general. Well, you will see a new Twitter account for that coming up shortly as well. So make sure you give that a follow. And guys, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. You hit the like button, and for God's sakes, if there's an ad on the bottom of the screen, please click on that. I need that 0.0005 cents. Actually, I'm not even concerned about, it's not about the money aspect of it, but the more ads you get clicked, you get better ads that get spotlighted, more people will be able to see it. It comes up faster in searches with the algorithm, so that's what I'm really concerned about. So, because I want more people to see it, because we have gained quite a bit of players via YouTube and the YouTube page. So just keep that in mind. Help us out. Be a pal. In addition, Luke Martin hosts Inside the IWAR. So if you want to be on that show, please contact him. You can DM him on Facebook, or you can leave a post on our network page, our IWAR network page. He is looking for people to be on that show, and all you need is Skype and a microphone. So if your laptop, most laptops have microphones in it. You can use that. You can get Skype on your phone and use that, or on your tablet and talk through that. Or if
you can use a pair of headphones too.
Yeah, that's what I use. So there's 1,000 ways to do it. We are not restricted by technology. We have the technology. We can make it happen. And guys, if you're worried about, hey, I don't want to sound like a dummy. If you look at the crew of guys that I got, all of them are dummies, and I edit them. True. And I make them sound much better than they sound normally. So, and myself too. So
regardless. Yes,
because I sound like an idiot normally, and I actually make myself sound halfway decent. So don't be worried about that. We're going to take care of you. And it's just having a simple conversation, at the bar or at the lunch table if you're still in school, or what have you. And then we talk about wrestling, we talk about life in general, and we talk about the IWA. So keep that in mind. So contact Luke. He's looking for new people. As a programming note, we do have it Inside the Hour with Michael Swanson Jr. That'll be our next show coming up. So be on the lookout for that. It was a great conversation that Luke had with Michael, and I think you guys will all enjoy that. So, all right, guys. So we are officially out of time. So for Matt Riley, Jake Joyce, Luke Martin, Michael Swanson Jr., and Scott Anderson, I'm Juan Cena.